Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about when a junior deserves praise. So let's get into it. So the question in question was posted on another video that I made about what I wish new developers would understand. So the question goes, Frederick, by the ratio of F words in this video, I can really tell that this really annoys you. Yes, because in that video I explained that the most annoying thing there is to a more experienced developer who gets a new hire or someone who comes in the door, and it never fails. I can see it before they come. It's like it's like an aura, and you already go, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm going to have to argue with this person for hours because they're not smart enough to understand that I've been working here now for a few years and I'm just trying to show them how the system works. I'm not interested in having a debate about why we're not using microservices or why we're not using functional programming or why service meshes isn't the de facto standard in our company. Because in my head I just go, do you know how many people have thought those thoughts before you? And you look at me as if I'm so dumb that I haven't realized that all of these things are possible. It's just that when you get to be more experienced, you will understand and you will learn before your time at this company is over why we haven't made those changes. There is always a reason, you see. But that's not something that the new hires figure out. They have to realize it the hard way every single time. But out of curiosity, what is the thing that a junior did that actually made you go, wow, really good job, if that ever happened? I must have sold the idea that I am a bitter, bitter old programmer who just spits on everybody. If you wonder if this has ever happened. So I will tell you that this is something that I make a very big habit of. It is very important to me at a personal level that and this is not just true for my junior developers. I will tell my senior developers when they do a good job, and I go make sure that I do whenever I see something that I feel is really a really positive thing. And it doesn't have to be the thing is, like, some people, and in many cases this is true for many people in society, the only time you ever get any praise from anybody, if be it your dad, your mom, whatever, is when you achieve something that is significant. And that's something that I don't really like. I don't really like that the only time we actually take the time to tell somebody that they did a good job is if they do something that is extraordinary. Because if you look at the way that society works today, at least from my perspective, uh, today the bar for being extraordinary has never been higher for many people. I mean, we're in a world today, if we look at social media and so forth, that people are like basically they have anxieties over the fact that, oh, you're like famous, or you're actually winning a lot of prizes, or you're doing really well. Well, this other person here is the world's best at something, so the thing that you're doing isn't cool at all. Because the only thing that matters is if you're number one. Doesn't matter if you're number two. Who are you? You're basically nobody. And I don't really like that. So the way that I think about giving praise to my coworkers, I always make sure, because that's something that annoys me a lot, and it's something that happens a lot in my company and in other companies as well, is when you give this ungenuine fake praise, or like it's nothing, like there's this trend called saying that we celebrate failures and stuff of this nature, and this is useful. There is a use for having a very open and warm and cuddly Care Bear environment. But to me, it gets a little bit silly when we praise people for every single CSS change they make, or every single line when they allocate a variable. That's not how I work. The way I work is that, if we talk about junior developers specifically, is that I look at the senior developer's role within that relationship. Like, the role of the senior developer is to make the junior developer self-reliant. That is my, like, for me, if I am the senior developer in the in the company, it is my job to take a new hire who doesn't really know how the system works and get them from uncertainty and a little bit of fear in many cases to reliantly, so like confidently just making changes to the system so that they can do this without feeling that they need to ask me for help or things like that. That is my goal. And if somebody if somebody who started out being uncertain about how to do something goes from that to with confidence actually making contributions, that is something that you should be praised for. And I always make sure that that happens. I have had many junior coworkers that I helped train, and it always goes the same way. You start off by sitting with them, trying to help them understand, and like you introduce them to the system, and you make really sure, because it's usually a little bit sensitive for the new hires, that they feel like they can come and talk to you. They should always feel like they can ask a question and so forth. And usually the way it starts is that there are some things that they will be able to do by themselves, but in the beginning they will ask a lot of questions, and that's what they should be doing. And me and my coworkers, we will answer and to the best of our abilities, and sit with them and help them to make sure that they get productive, because we know that this is the best thing for them. It's the best thing for us as well. It's the best thing for the company. So and at some point it always happens the same way. They will go from have asked this thing of us or to get help like for 10 times, and then on the 11th time they remember, like they feel confident enough to actually do it themselves. They might ask for validation and say, oh, can you just make sure that I did it right? And then we see that, yeah, you went from now always having me by your side when you did this, and now you did it yourself. Really great job. This is exactly what we're looking for. And that is something that I always make sure that they hear, because it's for me the absolute best thing. I mean, this is true. I have the same rule for other people as well. If I see that you are evolving as a human being or as a developer, you're actually becoming better at this thing, you should be encouraged. I think that you deserve praise for that. I have a specific story in mind actually, where one of my current coworkers, he's been working with us now for a few months, and he's still learning and so forth in many ways, but he's become a lot more self-reliant. I mean, shit, he is probably better than I ever was. He got up to speed faster than I ever did. And there was a situation where just at vacation time, when we had a very embarrassing oversight in a feature that we had shipped, and it didn't really look good, I would say, and I helped make that happen in many ways. It wasn't nobody's specific fault, but I will claim some responsibility for that. And he actually took. I felt that he didn't need to do that, but his enthusiasm was just amazing. He took a couple of days from his vacation time, so he came back from vacation and fixed the whole thing. Like fixed the oversight by himself, when he had like previously not been able to make confident changes without a lot of help from me and my coworker. And he fixed the whole thing. There were no problems whatsoever. He didn't like cause any legacy or any issues or anything like that. He just solved the issue, and the customer was happy. And it was amazing work. Holy shit, I was impressed. I was really, really impressed. It was great. It was great stuff. I was really proud of him. So what I want you to take away from this is that for me, the times that I give praise to a coworker, or if especially the junior developers, is when I see that someone has actually improved their skills. They've actually gone from being uncertain about something and needing help to feeling fairly confident and feeling like, yeah, I kind of know how this works. I can do it. You don't have to have Frederick next to me, or I don't have to ask somebody else to do it. I can do it. That is praiseworthy in my book. You're of course going to get praise as well if you do something really clever, but a lot of junior developers in many cases get into this idea that you have to impress your senior coworkers, and usually the thing is that you can make that happen sometimes, but it shouldn't be your primary focus. Your primary focus, in my opinion at the very least, should be to become a solid developer that they can depend on, because that's why they hired you. They didn't hire you to change the world for them. They hired you to be able to do the job in an efficient fashion. So that should be the focus. The contract, the best contract between the senior and the junior should be that the senior makes sure that the junior becomes self-reliant. And as a good senior, I believe that when you see your junior developer go from uncertain and not being able to do something alone to being able to do it practically as well as you do, you should tell them. Tell them that they're doing a good job and understand that this is a new experience for them. I think that that is the way you should go about it. Have a great day.